Hello, or good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining today's our side event, accelerating synergistic solution to the triple planetary crisis. すいません、始まってます。The power of business. This is the side event for the focusing on the synergy, especially the good relationship with business. I'm Junichi Fujino, today's MC. I'm from the Institute for Global Environmental Strategy, IGES. I'm currently principal synergy coordinator. We have a very high level, also the person who do the very practical actions on the ground. So I'm very much looking forward to listening to the activity or remarks from all of you. So first, I would like to invite His Excellency Kentaro Doi, Vice Minister for Global Environmental Affairs, Minister of Environment Japan, one of the co-organizers of this side event. So Doi-san, over to you.
I'm Doi Kentaro, Vice Minister for Global Environmental Affairs. On behalf of the Ministry of the Environment of Japan, I would like to thank you all for joining us and express my sincere appreciation to IGES and ADB for co-hosting this important event. We are facing the triple planetary crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. To address these interconnected challenges, accelerating integrated solutions and promoting synergies is essential for achieving a sustainable future. Japan has been actively promoting such efforts. At UNEP 6 last year, Japan proposed a resolution on promoting synergies, which was adopted. Building on this resolution, Japan is now working with ADB, ESCAP, and UNEP to develop the Asian Pacific Synergy Report, which will highlight good practices from this region and be submitted to ESCAP Ministerial Conference next year. Furthermore, Japan is preparing a follow-up resolution for UNEP 7 next month, aiming to scale up synergies on the ground. Today's seminar focused on the critical role of business in driving synergy-based solutions. Japanese companies with innovative technologies and practical experience will share their insights and synergistic solutions that they have developed. The power of business is vital in reaching policy and implementation and in accelerating global efforts. Importantly, I hope to incorporate the outcomes and insights from today's discussions into both the upcoming UNEP 7 resolution and the Asian Pacific Synergy Report. I'm looking forward to lively and constructive exchange of ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Vice Minister Doi-san, for your very encouraging opening remarks. And then next, I would like to invite the welcome remarks by the one of co-organizer JICA, Ms. Katsura Miyazaki, Executive Senior Vice President and then CSO of JICA. So Miyazaki-san, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for your introduction, Mr. Fujino. It is a great honor to welcome you to this official side event at the Japan Pavilion during COP30. The triple planetary crisis, climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution demands integrated and transformative solutions. In 2023, the government of Japan led the adoption of the Synergies resolution at UNEP 6, signaling a global commitment to coherence across environmental agendas. Building on this momentum, the Ministry of the Environment, Japan, and IGES, in collaboration with ESCAP, ADB, and UNEP, launched the Asia-Pacific Synergy Report Initiative. JICA is honored that Mr. Kyosuke Inada, our Director General for Sustainability Management, serves as one of the co-lead authors for the chapter of finance. At JICA, we are committed to translating the concept of synergies into concrete action on the ground. For example, in Tamil Nadu, India, JICA provided concessional ODA loans to support afforestation outside forests, improve wildlife habitats, and strengthen forest product value chains. These efforts create synergies between climate action, ecosystem restoration, and better livelihoods for women and vulnerable groups. In development cooperation, it is increasingly important to move beyond addressing single issue and instead design projects that generate multiple interconnected benefits, what we call co-benefits. To this end, JICA is currently conducting a study focused on prioritized area closely linked to climate change. Drawing on practical knowledge from the field, the study outlines approach to synergy-based project design with due consideration of climate change mitigation and adaptation, biodiversity, urban resilience, and a circular economy. With decades of experience supporting sustainable development across and beyond Asia and the Pacific, JICA has accumulated practical knowledge from the fields. We are eager to share these insights widely with other institutions and partners to collectively advance synergistic and impactful solutions in the region and beyond. Today's session focuses on the vital role of the business sector. In recent years, the role of the business sector has become increasingly important in addressing global environmental challenges, and businesses are key drivers of innovation and scale. We look forward to hearing from leaders who are pioneering synergistic solutions in their respective fields. JICA stands ready to collaborate with public and private partnership to bridge policy and practice and to accelerate integrated environmental and development action across Asia and the Pacific and beyond. Today's session is an opportunity to learn from frontline practices and explore how we can scale up synergistic solutions globally. I encourage all of you to share your ideas and experiences openly. Together, we can turn synergy from a concept into a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miyazaki-san, for your very insightful and also very rich experience of your view. So before moving to the next session, I'd like to propose to having a group photo because Miyazaki-san need to leave soon. So then all the speakers, the panelists, kindly come to the panel, come here, come in front, and then having a group photo. So also Doi-san 土井さんお願いします。はい。Okay, so 土井さん、宮崎さん、and then all the panelists, speakers. Yes, yes, of course. Yes, yeah. Miyazaki-san and Doi-san should be center, so two of you should be center. Yeah, come. Yes. Sorry, it's a bit narrow. Okay, so of course, why not? yeah, youth engagement is critical. So yeah. Oh, it's a big queue. Come. Oh, it's okay. It's too long. No, okay. Okay, so freestyle, Malaysian style, but yes, any style. Okay, so thank you very much. So yeah, Miyazaki-san for joining. Even you are very busy schedule. So let's move to the next session, special remarks. And then, so for special remarks, yes, we have a very high level 3 speakers from the especially the, yeah, you can take a seat, UN organization. Also, Honpen-san, so please come to the stage. Yes. Yeah, welcome. So first, I would like to invite the from UNFCCC, Mr. Daniele Violetti, Senior Director, Program Coordination. So over to you, Daniele-san.
Thank you, and good morning to all participants and excellencies. Big pleasure for me today to be with you, and first of all, thanking the Minister of Environment of Japan and IGES for convening this timely and important discussion. We at the UNFCCC Secretariat are very pleased to support this dialogue on synergistic solution to the triple planetary crisis at this pivotal moment on the road to UNEA 7. We have to acknowledge and recognize Japanese leadership, especially since the adoption of the landmark synergy resolution at UNEA 6, which has helped to place integrated action firmly on the global agenda. And with the follow-up resolution being prepared for UNEA 7, today's event offers us an opportunity to deepen collaboration across policy, science, and business, and bring forward concrete, practical example on what synergies can look like in implementation. We at the UNFCCC Secretariat, we see every day that fragmented responses are no longer fit for purpose, and countries are increasingly seeking integrated pathways that connect climate action with nature protection, circularity, resilient livelihoods, and sustainable development. And let me say in this context a bit about our joint work with UNDESA on the Global Synergy Report, which is now at the 3rd edition, which highlights that countries are ready for this shift. Then the forthcoming Asia-Pacific Synergy Report, being developed with ESCAP, ADB, UNEP, and IGES, will be another important contribution demonstrating how regional innovation can inspire global progress. Now, here at COP30, we are reminded that we are entering in a decade where every decision counts and where the alignment of climate, nature, and pollution action is essential to achieving the goals of the Paris Agreement. This alignment will not happen by chance. It will happen because of the purpose collaboration that needs to be in place. So I really welcome also today's discussion focusing on business leadership and on concrete frontline practices. These experiences from Japan, from across Asia Pacific, and from global partners can help shape a powerful narrative and inform the international community as we look forward to UNEA 7 and beyond. So let me thank again and as always, we at the Secretariat are ready to continue supporting this important agenda. I look forward to the discussion. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Daniel. Even though you are super busy, but you are having the time for us to, share your knowledge and also the very encouraging word to us and how we can go forward. And thank you very much, Daniel. So, Abahare. So next, I would like to invite also my good colleague friend and the Abahare Shed. She is a Senior Energy and Climate Advisor of the UN DESA Department for Economic Social Affairs. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Junichi. I wonder if colleagues can pull up the slides. While that's happening, let me also thank the Ministry of Environment of Japan, as well as IGES, who have been extremely supportive of this collaboration that we've been having with UNFCCC on strengthening synergies between the SDGs and climate action. And thanks also for the invitation. Now, building on what my colleague Daniele had mentioned, this initiative, a component of it is about deepening the evidence base on what do we mean when we talk about the synergies between SDGs, climate action. Where are these synergies happening? Are there any trade-offs? What are the trade-offs? How does it benefit policymakers and so on? So in order to do that deepening of the evidence base, a few years ago, we started co-convening a dedicated expert group on this topic. And I don't know if I can. Can we, I don't know if we can, let's see.
So the also questions in the happen proposal is Japan. You can say just the next slide.
Okay, so colleagues can see?
No.
Okay. Let me just go back. Can you go back one slide, please? Yes. This is the expert group. It is being co-convened by UNDESA and UNFCCC. It is composed of 17 independent experts from around the world. They bring in different thematic and geographical expertise to this topic. Next slide, please. So to date, there has been 3 reports, global reports on this topic of climate and SDG synergies. The first one focused on making the case. So why do we need to talk about synergies? Why does it matter? The second global report focused on practical entry points for action and key barriers in scaling up synergistic solutions, including fragmentation, which Daniele mentioned as well. We see fragmentation in policy, we see fragmentation in governance, fragmentation in finance, fragmentation in knowledge, and these are key barriers in order to address going from siloed approaches to integrated solutions. This year's report is the third one, and that one is focused on quantifying the benefits of synergistic action. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this report focused on 3 key elements. One is what I mentioned in terms of quantifying the benefits of synergistic action. And this is extremely important because policymakers want to be able to put a dollar sign or some quantified assessment of why does it matter? Why do they have to pursue synergies? So that's the first key element of it. The second, the report also identified 3 entry points for action in this year's report. One, of course, which is very relevant to the discussions we're having in this COP, the connection between nature, biodiversity, as well as the side events and development. And the last one focused, the second one focused on the interconnection between cities and health, and the last one on finance. I'll share a little bit more details on these. And lastly, this report provides critical evidence to guide action going forward. Next slide, please. This report in particular, we think it's very timely. 3 reasons why that's the case. One is that we are at a crossroads. This is the COP of implementation. We know that we are off track on the SDGs. Out of the 169 targets, only 18% of the SDG targets are on track. On climate, you're very well aware, GHG emissions continue to rise. We have 5 years to achieve the SDGs, and we have just seen the NDC 3.0s coming in, and implementation of these NDCs is going to be critical. So in this conversation on implementation, we need to showcase why synergies maximize potential and minimize the trade-offs. The second element is about investment. Of course, you're all aware SDGs require over $4 trillion in investment on the climate action is over 6 trillion. We now have the climate finance goal, 300 billion. We have the Baku 2 billion roadmap and adaptation. Similarly, we are all facing a major financial gap to achieve these goals. And with synergies, we know that there will be efficiency in terms of finance. So that's why we want to demonstrate this in this report. And lastly, expanding the body of evidence for policymakers and practitioners to be able to pursue this. They need the evidence. So this report is contributing to that. Next slide, please. So very quickly, I'm going to go through the key messages of this year's reports. There's about 9 of them. I'll be as quick as possible. The first one, obviously, is there is no question in terms of pursuing synergistic action in order to address the current global crises. We know we are off track, and the only way to course correct on addressing nature, on addressing development, on addressing climate is to move away from siloed approaches to integrated solutions that bring about more co-benefits. And that's why that's what we mean by saying synergies. The second one, it's at the core of the results of this report is about unlocking efficiencies. Through the statistical modeling that the report presents, we have seen that pursuing development and climate action could lead to nearly 40% gain in economic efficiency. So this is really important when we talk about finance. Thirdly, modeling has helped tremendously in sort of arriving at quantified sort of valuations of why synergies matter, and we hope to continue these modeling exercises going forward. Next slide, please. Now, of course, this is the fourth one is about synergistic action that aligns national development and national climate actions, particularly important as we discuss this generation of the NDCs. As you may have heard in various corridors at this COP, the quality of the NDCs submitted this year is much more improved. Many of them actually look at the SDGs. So now it's about aligning the climate targets that countries have in their NDCs with their national development plans. Fifth is about adaptation. Of course, adaptation, it's no brainer for many countries around the world. Adaptation is about development, and investing in adaptation has to be a key priority. Now, this report in particular, the scenarios are focused on mitigation scenarios, but we do understand the importance of adaptation. And in the future editions, we would love to quantify the co-benefits of adaptation, which we believe is going to help tremendously with making the case for why we need to invest in adaptation. Sixth recommendation here is about leveraging private finance, which is very much linked to the topic of discussions in this side event. We do know that business matters. We do know that the public finance is not going to be sufficient to achieve the goals that countries have set for ourselves. And so realigning finance and leveraging climate finance, that the climate and development finance from private sector is going to be key. And so that will be the focus of next iterations as well. Next slide, please. Now, in terms of the thematic issues that this report focused on, nature conservation, very much linked to the discussions we're having. It found that nature-based solutions could deliver up to 37% of cost-effective CO2 mitigations by 2030. Yet we know that, again, when we talk about biodiversity, we talk about adaptation, the financing gap persists. On cities and health, it provided 4 pathways to deliver major co-benefits, including clean air from fossil fuel phase-out, plant-based diet, increased physical activity through active travel, as well as resilient urban design. And lastly, this one is really important too, as it touches on finance. We looked at the insurance gap, and we found out that 62% of global disaster losses go uninsured. In Africa, for example, only 0.5% are covered. So increasing this insurance coverage by 1% could bring us closer to 6%, closer to achieving the SDGs. And in terms of the number of people an increase in 1% can cover the current 3 billion going to 15 to 25 billion people. So the importance of integrating climate and disaster insurance in national climate and development policies is critical. Next slide, please. And this is my last one, I promise. So the 8.1 focuses on evidence, the importance of that in terms of guiding policymakers. You need to be able to have the data. You need to be able to show why you have to pursue synergistic action. And this needs to be something that cuts across governments and cuts across society. And then the last one here is a recommendation that is more forward-looking. The next 5 years not only going to be critical in terms of implementation of the targets that the world has already set for itself, whether it's SDGs or biodiversity or climate, but it's also an opportunity to think about the future, the next generation of the NDCs, then the post-2030 development agenda. The conversation around what would replace the future agenda is kicking off already next year. And then on the NDCs, the next global stocktake conversation will also kick off in the next couple of years. So these sort of opportunities to talk about a different sort of way of working when it comes to achieving our goals is going to be discussed, and showcasing why synergies matter in the future is important. Last slide, please. I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much again for the invite. Here's the QR code for the various reports, and looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And I saw the many audience very carefully looking at your slide, and then I gave many people download this report today. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, then next I would like to invite the UNEP as for this the special address. So from UNEP, I would like to invite Hong Pen, Chief of the Mitigation Branch, Climate Change Division. So over to you, Hong Pen-san.
Thank you very much, Junichi. Dear colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to join the session to discuss synergizing solutions. I want to firstly thank the Ministry of Environment of Japan and IGES for the invitation. On behalf of UNEP, it's our great pleasure to be part of this effort. So in terms of reduce the physical space and shrinking ODA, synergies are a necessity for achieving environmental progress. Momentum for climate change is picking up. Global finance and corporate sector grow investment to $1 trillion in 2023, outpacing growth of public finance for the first time. It must be broadened and deepened to benefit multiple environmental outcomes and development. By promoting synergies, one investment can yield multiple co-benefits: mitigation, adaptation, biodiversity, livelihoods, health, air quality, and resilience. The value of synergy lies in its practicality. It helps governments to do more with finite resources, design policies with multiple benefits, and measure progress with clarity and credibility. And by raising the cost benefit ratio, attracts greater blended finance and private investment. So to attract finance at scale, UNEP supports countries to strengthen domestic coordination and enabling policies, helping banks, markets align with 1.5-degree pathways, real convention targets, and MEA commitments. At UNEP's finance initiative, we see many financial institutions ready to make investment aligned to countries' targets. Through general policy coherence, we can help financial actors to see the targets and the plans as investment opportunities. Coherent national financing strategies and long-term policy signals are the prerequisites for private finance. So clear taxonomies, the removal of harmful subsidies, and embedding nature-related conditions in public procurement are immediate levers to improve policy coherence. It can generate transparent pipelines of multiple benefits products through country platforms, blended funds, bundled bankable portfolios, and even national transmission plans as part of NDCs. So collaboration across sectors is critical for reducing inefficiencies and administrative burdens in the implementation of environmental targets. So ministry-level integration of NDCs, NBSAPs, NAPs, and land degradation neutrality into national budgetary processes and financing plans means the sectoral ministries beyond environmental can participate in implementation of the real conventions. So interoperability across national digital platforms and the data sites related to climate change, biodiversity, and land degradation can spur greater collaboration and data exchanges. Countries should develop the local MRV systems, especially for data poor topics like biodiversity, pollution, and land degradation. So write a whole of society approach ultimately enhance the transparency, equity, and the sustainability of MEA outcome. So we would like to commend Japan's leadership in Asia and the Pacific region and beyond on synergy approaches. We want to congratulate the government of Japan for the passage of JICA Act last year that expanded the capabilities for this critical agency to provide the development and finance options, especially first loss financing for adaptation and the resilience measures. Secondly, congratulations to the co-lead authors and the contributing authors for the successful authors meeting in July 2025 and the chapter alignment meeting in October 2025 for the Asia Pacific Synergy Report. So report is a vehicle to support regional cooperation, inform global dialogue, and guide future investments in systems that support synergies between SDGs implementation and addressing the triple planetary crisis in the region. Offers countries and partners a concrete opportunity to share evidence and align efforts in the lead up to UNEP 7. So we look forward to continuing conversations next month in Nairobi at the UNEP 7. So UNEP 7 will convene the world together on environmental matters, key opportunity for delivering coherent and effective actions to support MEAs and SDGs in implementation. We commend Japan's continued leadership in building on UNEP Resolution 6/4 and 6/6, which call for strengthened nation-level synergies among MEAs and the closer collaboration between UNEP, UNEP, and MEA governing bodies. The new draft resolution on synergies has been submitted by Japan for consideration at UNEP 7. So we look forward to working together with all stakeholders present at UNEP 7 on this important agenda. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honpen-san, for sharing our progress of the Asia-Pacific Synergy Report, and also we have a UNEP 7. So I'd like to have a very short intervention, and then so we have a many business groups. As Bahari already mentioned, the expectation on the business side, but once again, from the side of UNEP or how you organize a UNEP 7 or beyond, also you need to clear the triple planetary crisis. So how you expect the business side, especially encourage accelerating synergy?
Yes, thank you. I think for colleagues who are familiar with UNEP, we have three missions: ecosystem, and pollution and climate change. So we have colleagues working on all the topics. In practice, we work very often together, not only to work with member states on developing the new guidelines, new resolution, etc. But even more importantly, we work with member states to really work on the ground solutions, to really engage all the stakeholders from business, from think tanks, from local NGOs, under the guidance of member states government. We are very happy to see many good examples to integrate all these three aspects in the reality. Of course, we also work with many other UN agencies together. So this is a giant challenge we all are facing. We are very proud of being partnered with Japan and with partners from Japan and beyond, and with our UN colleagues on this topic. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much. Bahare?
Yes, absolutely. Over the years, I'm based in New York City, and we deal with all sorts of intergovernmental processes related to the United Nations General Assembly. So it's a different process than here, but it is true that in the negotiating rooms, similar to here, it's only member states. However, over the years, it's been recognized that member states alone cannot do this. And it's becoming more and more obvious. In the real world, we call it the real economy, and that's the action agenda. In these pavilions, it's about action. There, the business is there. They are highlighting what they're doing. They are talking about concrete examples and solutions on the ground and collaborations that are already taking place. From our side at UNDESA, we truly believe in multi-stakeholder partnerships. So when it comes to this topic of synergies at our level, we have a number of opportunities in terms of convening different multi-stakeholders. And one of them is the annual global conference on climate and SDG synergies. The third one happened in Tokyo, in Japan. We're very grateful for the support we received from the government of Japan and IGES. Last year, it was in Brazil, and this year it happened in Denmark, Copenhagen. These are dedicated platforms where we would like to see business, civil society, academia, and governments to come together and discuss why this matters, where are the good examples, what can we learn from those examples, and how can we transfer those examples to locations around the world.
Thank you very much, Bahare, and also Hompen. So yeah, I'd like to close the special address session. So thank you very much, Hompen-san, Bahare-san. Thank you. Okay, so then now it's my turn. So I would like to do very quick kind of the introduction speech, introduction of the progress of the Asia Pacific Synergy report. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, as already the Doi-san, Hompen-san kindly shared our progress of the Asia Pacific Synergy report. Next slide, please. And so, as the leadership by the UNDESA, UNFCCC, we have a global synergy report. And the next question is that how we can have more on-the-ground solutions, or how we can have, kind of regional solutions to be shared to the global stage. So this is the reason why this year, February, we have decided to develop this Asia Pacific Synergy report led by the ESCAP, and then here we have ADB, Yoko-san, and then UNEP, Asia Pacific ROAP, and sponsoring by the Minister of Environment Japan, and then IGES is the secretariat. Next slide, please. For this report, and then as the Hompen-san already mentioned, we have a first in-person meeting in Manila near to the ADB. We have already, yes, it's a real. We have a people. And then next slide, please. We have a whole colleague, all the colleagues who also contribute to the global synergy report. So they know global synergy report, and then now they lead the Asia Pacific synergy report. So we need such the connection relationship. Otherwise, it's isolated. Next slide, please. And then for this our the report, yes, we have a following kind of the like the triple planetary crisis. So then we have chapter for climate and health and biodiversity and nature positive, pollution and the circular economy, and the cities and resilience, finance, data and tools, governance, and also blah 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 policy recommendation or like the conclusion. Next slide, please. And then we have a dedicated read author, two read author for each chapter. So then you can find your friend in this list. And then yeah, even today, this morning, I have a meeting with among them. Next slide, please. So next slide is also showing the another chapter's read author, contributing author. Okay, so now we are in the COP30. And then next slide, please. Now we are in the COP30, and then the beginning of December, we have a UNEA and 2 weeks. I will go to UNEA. This is my first time to go to UNEA, second week of the high level. And then next slide, please. And so, but why we need such the Asia Pacific synergy report? So as the UNEDESA, UNECCC took the very great lead to having the global synergy initiative since 2019 April in Copenhagen, and Professor Takeuchi and I myself joined this session in person. It's quite an impressive one. Next slide, please. And then now there are more the research happening regarding the synergy, but not still enough. And then so this is the reason why we'd like to compile any findings from the Asia Pacific. Next slide, please. And then, still there is a big gap. Even in Asia Pacific, there is our progress are not on track. And then and not only SDGs but also climate, triple planetary crisis. There are huge gaps. So then, we cannot make a solution one by one. It takes so many times and the money and then resources. So then, why don't you having the synergy? Next slide, please. And so, this is an example of the synergies in Asia Pacific. Now we collected the case study not only from Japan but also Asia Pacific, like India or Vietnam or China or Mongolia. We at this moment we have roughly 40 case study, and then we try to collect at least 100 for this synergy reports. Next slide, please. And then, this is a scope. And so then, as I already mentioned, so this is assessment, but it is also important. This report not only discussing the on the ground, but we also need to show the perspectives for the like a ministerial level, because we also need the policy leadership to develop synergy. We need a new norm or a new framework for having synergy. Next slide, please. It takes time. The Japan side operates this right and objective. So hopefully it could be good practical guideline. And also, yes, we have a new framework on SDGs, so post 2030 agenda, and how Asia Pacific can have more voices rather than 2015. 2015, I was in like Paris or somewhere. I'm much more focusing on the climate, but now I'd like to use my time for like a synergy and then for having the new scheme of the sustainable development agendas. Next slide, please. So I believe it almost last. But so we are now the process to develop the collecting the very good case studies, especially from business side, so that we can show the ministers or the stakeholders how synergy can be happened in Asia Pacific. Next slide, please. Okay. And then, so this is the final slide. So we will, we are on the process to develop final Asia Pacific synergy report for the Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development, APFSD, the end of February in Manila, in Bangkok, ESCAP. And then we show our final report and then have a final comment from the stakeholder. Then we submit this report to the Commission on Environment and Development organized by ESCAP. And then this is the fourth, every 4 year, the conference who we have a ministerial level. So ministers receive our report. So it's a great opportunity for ESCAP, not only ESCAP, but the Asia Pacific stakeholder to develop next 4 years regional initiatives on synergy. So this event is quite important to having good input to enrich our Asia Pacific synergy report. So yeah, thank you very much for listening me, and then please join us. Thank you. Oh, I forget my role. So next, I would like I need to go back to MC. So I'd like to invite the panelist and the moderator for next session. Next session is synergy and business. Frontline practices from the private sector and insight from youth. So the moderator is Yoko-san. Moderator is Yoko Watanabe, and then the panelist is Yoko-san, Kato-san, Nagasawa-san, and then Bernhard. And then we will invite the two commentators, especially from your side later on. Okay, so then I'd like to pass my ball to the Yoko-san.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, and very welcome to this event. And thank you very much for the invitation to co-organize this synergy event together with JICA and UNEP today. And my name is Yoko Watanabe. I'm the Director of Environment at Asian Development Bank. At Asian Development Bank, we really put synergy in the heart of our environment action plan that was approved last year by our president. So we tackled a triple planetary crisis in an integrated way. One of the key sort of outcome of that, you'll see this time that Asia Pacific climate report from ADB, which is prepared by our chief economist and our economic group, have focused on nature, unlocking nature for development. So it really shows that, you know, climate, nature, biodiversity, and also pollution is a very, very integrated issue that we need to tackle. So with that introduction, this session highlights how the private sector is driving synergy across climate, nature, and pollution actions. And as we all know, the huge gap of biodiversity, nature finance, and also climate finance, it is growing, and it's close, you know, just for nature finance, the gap is growing to almost $900 billion a year. And for reducing that, we need concerted efforts, but business definitely play a key role for that. And we really need to strengthen our collaboration between government, civil society, and private sector in particular. So it's such an honor to have private sector colleagues here who would be highlighting on their work on how they see synergy as an opportunity for a business and what can we do more about it. So with that, with no further ado, let me introduce the first speaker, Mr. Taku Kato, the leader of Sustainability Promotion and Cultural Transformation Department of Sompo Japan Insurance Company. And he will be talking about his efforts in promoting synergy in his company. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Yoko-san. Hi, I'm Taku Kato from Sompo Japan Insurance, which is a P&C insurance company in Japan. And I will talk about why my company is tackling with this synergy. And then what we're doing, I'll show some examples. And finally, I will show what's very important for us. Next slide, please. So the first slide is origin of Sompo Japan. We established 1888, and we are the first fire insurance company in Japan. And not only, so at that time, people in Tokyo were very suffering from the fire, daily fire. And so we not only providing insurance, we also organized the firefighters, and which was certified by the government. Only the public firefighters, I mean the private firefighters, certified by the government. And so we worked 24 hours, 365 days, extinguishing fire. So that DNA comes to the why we're tackling with this environmental problems and also disaster risk reductions and so on. So next slide, please. And the next slide shows our top management leadership in the environmental issues. And you can see on the left-hand top side, it's Rio Summit in '92. And the Japanese business community, which is Keidan Ren, formed the mission, a delegation. And our CEO at that time was the chair of the delegation. And he went to Rio and found out that the business has to tackle with the environmental issues within their business, and that's the starting of our history. And the right hand side, so 20 years later, they had this Rio Plus 20, and the chairman at that time also went there and explained about how we're tackling with the environmental issues. And the bottom side is the CBD COP 15 in 2022, and also led the Japanese delegation, business delegation. And the bottom right is the CBD COP 16 last year in Cali, and which this picture shows about the event on Comdex 4, which was Yoko-san at that time. We had a collaboration with the Japanese business and made up Satoyama funding, small grant funding for the mainly African areas. Next slide, please. So next slide shows what we're doing right now. I will introduce some examples. And one is the as a insurance and related service, we do on the left side customized climate risk insurance. It's so we provide this to like power retailers or construction companies. So due to the climate change, so the renewable power, they can't get the renewable power as expected, so they made some loss, financial loss. Or for construction, for extreme weather, they can't construct as planned. So those kind of losses are happening in Japan. So we do that. We design that tailor-made insurance to cover that risks, those financial losses. And on the right-hand side is before this session, my colleague Mr. Yano also explained about this. It's a methane leakage detection service, and we provide this to the client as a risk management service. And but for the client, it should be it's not only for the risk management, it should be for the regulatory problems. Or for the environment, it should be synergy for the to protect from the pollutions. Next slide, please. This one is our 100 OECMs project, and OECMs, as you may know, is other effective area conservation measures, and we have to get more OECMs to 30 by 30 targets. So for insurance company like us, OECMs will promote ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction, which is eco-DRR. So we try to get more and more OECMs. But since we're a P&C insurance company and doesn't have that much no forests or woods or peatlands maybe. So we support those kind of business or local community. I mean the local government and the local community to promote the OECMs. Next slide, please. And to do this, this is one of the projects to drive OECM's projects. It's called Save Japan Project. We started this in 2011, and we use the cost savings from the customers choosing web-based policies. And when their car damage, they fix their cars with the recycled parts, and that will bring us many costs cut on costs. So we use that as a fund to support the nature conservation projects in Japan. And currently, we are doing that to we're supporting eco-DRR and OECM projects. So last year, from our projects, 3 nationally certified sustainably managed natural sites, that's done by Ministry of Environment Japan, is born from this project. And so we work with the NPOs and local communities to do that. Next slide, please. And the current project I introduced to you, it should be environmental education for the community, not only the community, but also for our employees. So they work all over Japan. So they also participate in these kind of projects and learn about the environmental issues. So the final most important things we're thinking about is fostering people who plant trees. So we have Sompo Environmental Foundation supporting internships students, university students, to going to NGOs. We've been doing this for 25 years, and a few of them enter our company, but or some go to the ministry also. And the same program runs in Indonesia too. And the last right-hand side is Sompo Group Awards, and we chair these kind of challenges that employees are doing group-wide. And we self-vote each other and encourage these kind of efforts rather than getting their sales or something. But what I wanted to say was the most important is the human-centered synergy actions. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kato. And it was very, very clear that for insurance company like yours, working on a synergistic approach between nature, climate, and also disaster risk management is really the core of your business, because it really increases your risk. And unless we address those, it doesn't really bring the benefit to the community as well as to the company. So this is really great. So next we're going to Mr. Makoto Nagasawa. He's a president and CEO of Frutta Frutta. He will be talking about how business innovation can really lead to sustainability, and how he's also promoting synergy through his work. Thank you very much, Mr. Nagasawa.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me and granting such a beautiful opportunity to give a presentation to all of you. I founded a company back in 2002 that had a mission to realize a natural capitalism economy through agroforestry. The name Frutta Frutta means not a single fruit, but many species of fruit, reflecting our message that preserving biodiversity is essential. Next, please. Okay. Under the philosophy of living in harmony with nature, we began our operations back in 2002 with opening a first juice bar in Kobe to build up a brand strategy and agroforestry marketing to develop a market for Amazon superfood, focusing on acai. Next, please. We then expanded into a retail business, launching full-scale sales to supermarkets and convenience stores around 2005, and while simultaneously supplying low ingredients to the food service and manufacturers. We succeeded to lead the acai boom in 2010 in Japan and have gone public on the Tokyo Stock Exchange in 2012. By 2025, we have grown into a company with a market cap of 20 to 30 billion yen, and we take pride in being a pioneer of Amazon food in Japan, world's most challenging food market. Next, please. And next is our supplier. We are bound by a strong bond with Kamta, a co-op established by Japanese farmer immigrants since 1929. One and only partner and a community of shared destiny. Throughout the long history of agricultural development, lasting almost 100 years, they have created agroforestry, which can be considered the culmination of polyculture. When we met, they didn't have a proper link to the market, and then it gave us an exclusive right in exchange for launching a new company, which is Fruta Fruta. Next, please. I'm a little bit talking about agroforestry. And this word, or this term of the agroforestry, is a combination of agriculture and forestry. I will try to explain this state-of-the-art farming system by comparing it with the conventional agriculture. Next, please. Yes, assuming that the conventional agriculture as a single crop or monoculture, conventional agriculture practices in the Amazon typically involves in clearing forests to develop agricultural land by slash and burn and logging, as you know, followed by large-scale monoculture production. However, due to harsh climate conditions and the sudden crop disease outbreak, conventional agriculture often fails and the land becomes totally degraded. Next, please. Then agroforestry starts from the degraded land. Multiple agricultural and forestry crops of different heights planted in a transitional manner. It's a little bit difficult word, but creating a farm that grows into a forest in 25 to 30 years. Here people say almost 70% forest is restored over time. Next, please. Not only for regenerating the forest, fruits that grows like wild through conditions of competition and coexistence. Provide us a natural and rich nutrients and exotic flavors of the Amazon. In our agroforestry marketing, we highlight this value as nature's own supplement. Next, please. The next slide represents the same transition as I explained before from the perspective of biomass. What I would like you to pay attention to here are the yellow and the green arrows. The yellow indicate biomass quantity, while the green represents the time frame of economic activities. The first half represents the period of conventional agriculture, and the second half represents agroforestry. As shown here, by single crop system, forest area decreases as production advances, right? Usually end up leading to failure and total loss. In contrast, agroforestry demonstrates regeneration of forests as time goes by. Now you can clearly recognize the V-shaped recovery of biomass amount here. The most important and the beauty is that this regeneration of forests that absorbs CO2 is occurred by economic force. Even with the same economical activities, single crop leads to destructions, while agroforestry achieves regeneration in Amazon. Next, please. The greatest challenge in marketing agroforestry lies in their biodiversity. But the biodiversity is a characteristic of the agroforestry itself. So it's a big problem. Industrial capitalist economy aims to maximize profits by selling a single products in large quantities, whereas agroforestry must strive for the opposite because it is small lot and a multi-variety production system, which is exactly the same as natural mechanism. In other words, it requires wisdom of marketing on how to sell diverse range of products, how to live with biodiversity. That is exactly what it takes to agroforestry marketing. The strategy that we have arrived at is the alliance of load sharing model in this display within the industrial sector. This way we can distribute diversified products from the farm because each raw materials is linked to diversified industries that requires it. Therefore, the load sharing seems logically possible. But the issue is what gives them meaning to join the team or what serves as an incentive to participate in the alliance. And our answer is CO2 reduction and biodiversity restoration. Because large corporations around the world currently are facing an obligation to reach CO2 reduction goals using the method of scope 1 to 3. They can reduce it easily by only shopping raw materials if such marketplace exists. Next, please. Therefore, we have invented an online platform like Alibaba to enhance the load sharing transactions with capability of CO2 calculation approach, compliant with ISO and GHG protocol in terms of scope 3. And at this COP30 held in the birthplace agroforestry, we are set to announce the world's first B2B online marketplace platform named Scope 3 Neo that will issue certificate of CO2 reduction amount to buying and selling transaction online. Next, please. And next, please. Producers can gain significant promotional benefits by having incentives added to their agricultural products. They will also be able to easily connect with clients around the world without marketing costs or efforts. In the future, we hope to enable producers to receive the benefits of carbon credit as well for their additional income. Buyers, on the other hand, will be able to easily find sustainable source at the raw materials online and obtain the advantage of reducing their scope 3 emissions, which would save enormous costs to achieve each country's CO2 reduction goal. Next, please. Lastly, what matters most, in my view, is fostering a mindset of harmony with nature and a willingness to share it. This embodies the very spirit of Mutiran that Chairman Lago has put forward as the central theme of COP30. Sorry, I might go over time, but I'm truly delighted to present you the presentation all of today. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Nagasawa, for sharing that very innovative model on how you're promoting sustainable agriculture with your business. So with that, no further ado, let me introduce Mr. Bernhard Stormy, Head of Sustainable Management at Yara International And maybe while you can explain what your company is doing in terms of promoting sustainable and ethical agribusiness through your company. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the kind invitation for Yara to come here and speak. I didn't bring slides. You may have to look at me instead of the screen. Sorry about that. First of all, Yara, for those of you who do not know Yara, we are a Norwegian-based but global fertilizer company. We are the world's second largest producer of ammonia and the largest trader of ammonia in the world. We have been in existence since 1905. We was the first company in the world to manufacture nitrogen fertilizer at an industrial scale. When our current CEO joined Yara 10 years ago, Svein Tore Holsæter, just 1 month after joining Yara, part of his onboarding process was to join a Yara delegation to the COP meeting in Paris. So that was his first introduction to international climate policies and negotiations. Also influenced by this, but also his personal beliefs, he went on to drive a process in Yara to set forth a new vision and mission for the company. And this mission still remains with us today, 10 years later. Our mission is to responsibly feed the world and protect the planet. So this sets the direction of our strategy development, our research, and our deployment of technologies on the ground. But maybe first to zoom out a little bit, talking about the food system, and a very good presentation was already made on the screen now. But if you want to step back even further, there was a very good study released by Stanford University. This was way back in 2010, Burney et al. And this research team looked into what may have happened if the Green Revolution did not succeed in increasing global yield levels. It's a long study, lots of data and analysis. You may look it up, but long story short, if we should feed the same growing population, we would need to clear more agricultural land than today. We would need an acreage the size of the entire Russian country. That's quite a lot of forests or wetlands that we would have to clear away to produce food to feed the population. And this analysis very clearly showed that the huge emissions that comes from land use change in this alternative world scenario would by far have outscaled the current emissions from today's agricultural system. So this points at agricultural productivity and climate change having some clear synergies. That said, we cannot be complacent about how the food system is working today. Let's remember that, depending on how you measure, but about 1/3 of global agricultural land is degraded. We know that the agricultural sector is pulling 70, maybe 80% of the freshwater resources that we as humankind are using. We also know that even if we are deforesting less than in this hypothetical alternative world scenario, clearing new land for agriculture is still the largest driver of natural habitat loss. So we are by no means where we need to be for the food system to work well. And I know that this is a calculation that has been quite a lot criticized, but if food loss and waste had been a country, it would have been the 3rd biggest emitter in the world. I know there are the methodology is flawed, but I think it's anyway worth mentioning that the inefficiencies, the losses we have in the food system remain a huge source of waste of resources and unnecessary emissions and unnecessary clearing of new lands. Even with the increased productivity that we do have in today's world food system, we know that we are transgressing multiple of the planetary boundaries. So for us being a fertilizer company, I'd like to talk a little bit about the nitrogen cycle. That is the core business of us, to produce nitrogen and sell it to farmers. And that supports productivity. That is one part of the solution for why we are able to use less land today than we would otherwise have needed. Still, we know that when farmers apply the fertilizers, about 45% of it is lost to the environment. And that is also unnecessary use of resources. So as Yara, we are a science-based company. We started doing field trials to research the impact on soils and productivity from use of our products. This we started back in the 1950s, and that research is still ongoing today. So we have a pretty good overview of what it takes to manage your soils in such a way that you can maintain productivity rather than to degrade the soils. We see some fertilizer subsidy schemes as an example that are promoting only nitrogen and phosphorus, and that will help the farmers boost their yields for a period of time. But unless you monitor the soil health, you're going to deteriorate and deplete the soil for other minerals, other nutrients that are equally important for the crop to grow. Back in the 1990s, we started doing research on precision farming technology. So in 1999, the first prototype of a tractor-mounted crop sensor was delivered to the market. So this technology helps the farmers optimize the use of fertilizers through variable rate application of the fertilizer according to the requirement of the crop in front of the tractor. Today, we use those same algorithms and we analyze satellite images. And on basis of satellite images, we can provide the farmer a variable rate fertilizer recommendation for his or her fields. And this helps the farmers become more precise. We see in our own field trials that we can help the farmers reduce the losses, cut them in half or even more. And this is an important part of how we need to manage the nitrogen cycle to avoid the losses to the environment, ammonia to the air or nitrates to the groundwater or to rivers and creeks. Now we are also embraced regenerative agriculture as guiding principles for how we evolve our value proposition to the farmers. We advise farmers to loop back as much organic matter to the soil as possible to avoid unnecessary tilling and to keep the soil covered. We have set up a special purpose startup company. It's called Agoro, and it's recruiting farmers to apply regenerative agricultural practices, thereby sequestering more carbon into the soils, generating carbon credits, creating an alternative revenue stream, both for the farmers, but also for us. And we do know that having more soil organic content makes the farms more robust in periods of drought. So this is a clear win-win. It's a climate benefit and it adds resilience at the farm level. Another example on how we work is through, and I mentioned precision farming, but going very deep in agronomic knowledge, specifically which nutrients does each individual crop needs according to yield expectations and local requirements. As an example, we are working together with almond growers in California. And this is, of course, a hugely productive area. California is supplying by far the majority of almonds to the global markets. Huge advanced farms, but we are able to help them improve. So by moving from their previous farming practices to doing drip irrigation with water-soluble nutrients, we can help them both improve their yields, and this is already in a very highly productive system. We see that we can improve almond yields by almost 20%. We can reduce the amount of fertilizers needed for every ton of almonds. So the almond crop carbon footprint goes down by 25%, and the water use efficiency goes up by more than 10%. So this is just an example on how we can use knowledge and technology to improve performance in the food system. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stormy. This is really educational, and I learned so much about how we can really make a transition from the conventional to a very more sustainable and regenerative agriculture and other methods that can be really utilized. So thank you very much for that. The time is pressing, so we'll just move forward to the next speaker. Miss Eri Otu is a co-representative of the O2 farm. And she was here actually last week, but she needed to go back to Japan now. So she has a recording made here. And please show the video. Thank you.
My name is Eri. I'm an organic rice farmer in Japan. I and my husband have been producing rice and cattle for 23 years in Aso, which is southern island of Kyushu.
Why did you decide to join COP30 Brazil?
Because I think that there is many things that farmers can do by ourselves to stop global warming, and I wanted to share this idea to world farmers.
Oh, what kind of idea you can share?
No matter whether it's organic or not, or the size, big and small, or in many countries, there is still something that we can do by ourselves. For example, I use biodiesel for my tractors, and also we reduce fertilizers and For example, I use biodiesel for tractors and harvester, and we use very little pesticide and try to install solar panels to charge our small farm tools, agricultural tools. So we are small farmer, but we're trying to do our best to reduce greenhouse gases. And I think there are also many things that every farmer can do.
That's quite great, then how you can keep such a sustainable style.
That's not a new style. I think this is the traditional style. The farmers, or in other words, agriculture has been accused as one of the biggest causes of global warming, but it wasn't originally. The farmers have been farming with the combine of nature for thousands of years. So what we're doing in Japan right now is not a new thing. We do use new technologies, but the idea or the style is traditional on the other hand. And also I visited Amazon's farmer too, doing agroforestry. And this is also not the same style as the original Amazon people did, but it's the way we can do in this moment as a sustainable farmer.
How did you find Amazon, and then what's the point that you'd like to share in Japan?
They are trying to make use of forests, so forests can also sustain. They combine many different types of trees and crops so that they can have the yearly annual income, and also so that they don't use up or they don't have to burn the forest. And that idea, even though we are from the different side of ours, the idea is the same, and I think we have shared very much same goals.
Right. So now it's the middle point of the COP30 negotiation, and then what kind of message do you like to share with the countries or negotiators, and also to us?
To you, I want you all to know, or you all know, that we need to eat to live, and somebody has to grow foods. And farmers, no farmers want to hurt the earth because we are the one who is affecting from climate changes. So please stop accusing agriculture, but we need to seek the way in the new era that farmers can eat the earth instead of destroying them. So that's our message or like request to you, that please note that agriculture is not the causes of global warming, but we can even absorbing greenhouse gases in our fields. So we need to make a compromise or like see the point where agriculture can be environmental friendly industry.
When you go back to Japan, what do you like to do first?
I need to take a bath. Cold shower is great. It's refreshing. I want to lay down in the bathtub, the first thing. And then, yeah, second thing, I left my family for 2 weeks because of this trip. And I think the smallest unit is family and family farming. And industrialized agriculture is, of course, very important to support world populations, which is growing. But the smallest unit is also as important as the big farming. And we, as a family farming, I need to share this experience with my family, my husband, and my children.
Enjoy the talk with your family over eating onigiri.
Yes, I need to make onigiri. That's another important thing what I had to do when I got back.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eri-san. Thank you so much.
ありがとうございます。
Wow, amazing video, Miss Otsu, bringing really a female leadership farmers and bringing her perspective. That's amazing. Okay, so now I'd like to invite two female commentator here. One is Miss Kulan Berger. She's a Director of Development of Climate Bridges. And then the second is Miss Haruno Tadakoro. She's a leader of energy of the Climate Youth Japan. So maybe Kulan first.
Thank you very much for having me. Since it's a series from an event that was started yesterday talking about synergies and how important it is to go from a local level to a regional level to a global level, I want to commend that here we are have gathered here on the conference of parties, but that gives so much hope. I think it's a conference of progress. And as we've heard before, it's also the conference of the people. And this gives me really a lot of hope. And today we've heard of concrete actions and solutions from Norway, from Japan, and now we've gathered here in Brazil. And I just hope that all of this could be integrated. We can find more synergies, and we can really put the people at the center of decision making. And with that, I would like to hand it over to you.
Hello, I'm Haruno Tadakoro from Climate Youth Japan. I feel like before this session, it can be difficult for the youth to make decision choice at the stage, especially business. However, I hear that this session, I feel like Mr. Kato said that CSO learning is very important for us, for youth education. Also, Ms. Sturmier is a, yeah, said agriculture is, I think youth can improve to research about agriculture, so we can make a synergy. I feel like that. So I'm so excited to say like, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much. We wanted to have a round of questions and answers too, but the time is pressing. So sorry that we couldn't have a dialogue and further sort of a roundtable here. But I think you got the message that business can be really a solution for synergy and bringing in both biodiversity, climate, and pollution together. And it's not just the beneficiary, but they are the ones that who can really innovate and bring in the needed sort of both finance as well as technology, as well as the passion and sort of commitment to make this happen. So with that, I'd like to hand it over back to Mr. Fujino to close this session. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much again, panelists.
Thank you very much, Yoko-san, as a moderator, also the panelists. Please give a big applause to all the panelists and Yoko-san. Thank you so much. Yeah, a very, very rich presentation. Sorry, no time for the discussion now, but hopefully you have a discussion after now, until the next side event. And thank you so much for joining today's event. And then, yeah, let's accelerate the synergies by business power. Thank you so much.